Hey everyone, welcome on back to the channel. Now, I am sure you are wondering, Otto, where are you? You are not in your regular long play world, and you can't be in a commentary world because you already have armor and you have an elytra and all these odds and ends, and you're even getting a little clipping of some builds around me. Well, today we're going to do something a little bit different. This is gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode because it is just a world tour. And what world are we touring today? Well, we are touring Al Madden. Oh, that's a terrible. Here, wait. That's a terrible angle. Al Madden. This is a server build that I did. I can't even tell you how long ago. It is ages and epochs ago. And this whole city was part of a kingdom that I built up. And there's a lot to it. You know, Almadden is technically the continent. And then I guess this is Almadden the city. I can't quite. There wasn't a ton of logic to the naming conventions. But this was the main build on the continent, which was a fairly sizable city that I pretty much did all by myself. And this was all done mostly vanilla Java. There were some mods on the server, but it certainly wasn't heavily modded enough to kind of change too much of the survival gameplay. But yeah, this is the build, and I will tell you right now, this world I thought was entirely lost to me. I didn't think I'd ever get access to this again. The server had shut down years and years ago, and I was convinced that the map was just lost. But recently I got access to an external hard drive that had this map on it, and I am so excited to be able to show you all and propose a project slash video series that we could get into. But yeah, let's just get into the video today, this sort of brief tour of Al Madden proper, I guess we'll call it. Obviously there's a lot of spots to hit along the way, but why don't we just start here with the lighthouse? This was one of the earlier builds. It's kind of that classic red and white look. I'm really happy with this build, actually. Looking at it in retrospect, I mean, I gave it a lot of shape. Obviously, the contrasting colors give it a little bit more texture. This is definitely when marble and diorite, just pretty much all of the sort of mineral rocks where our mineral stone variants were becoming a thing. So you're going to see a lot of that. Pretty much all the road systems in the city are a marble diorite mix. Not quite sure why that jumped out at me, but that's what we went with. So yeah. And yeah, it's just functional. I remember when I settled down in this bay, there was just this little island right in the middle. Immediately I knew that was the space for a lighthouse. Nothing in it in true Otto fashion. I did not furnish the inside at all, but it's cute, it's fun, it's functional, it does what we needed to do, and I really love it. It's a great kind of focal point for the city as you're coming in from the ocean. Very classic kind of feel. I guess I got 4 pieces of mossy cobblestone there. Love that. That's fun. All right, over here we have a little bit of a heartstring puller, I guess you could call it. This is a temple I built to commemorate my cat, which passed away at the time. It was the cat I grew up with Henry. And when he passed away, I wasn't quite sure what to do with myself because he was such an important part of my life. And so one small thing I could do was build a temple in Minecraft to him. No logic to it. I think, I mean, I went like very kind of avant-garde with the shape and the decoration and everything. And I say decoration, it's really, I mean, it's just got some leaves on it, which is kind of huge for me at that time. I think I was just getting into sort of integrating leaves and stuff into a build, and I'm not even quite sure what I was going for with the shape. I love it. I think it can be improved upon though. So yeah, we've got the clock tower here. which is another big focal point in the city. I think it's one of the highest structures, if not the highest structure. Yeah, the palace might go a smidge higher than it just because of the roof. I thought I had done more with the redstone components, but clearly I had just gotten to a point where I just wanted some of it lit up so that way it looked functional, but it didn't really, I never really got there. I think that if I recall correctly, the thing that kind of sort of pigeonholed me was the fact that I built this footprint for the tower before I really figured out what the redstone mechanics for it would be. And I think I ended up getting locked in because I didn't know how to make those redstone components work inside something this size. So nowadays, with the redstone components we have, I think it wouldn't be a problem to get this functional. I mean, even just with like daylight sensors, which actually, now that I think about it, we had when I was building this city. But I'm not a redstone master, but I've gotten better, and I certainly wasn't anywhere close to that when I was building this city. I think my biggest achievement was some of those 2x2 doors that close flush. So we got the marketplace here, or the market district. I think I was going for kind of like an open air bazaar that, you know, has all the essentials. You've got your stones, you've got your wool, you've got some precious ores and some crops and whatnot. It keeps going this way too. I never really manned these with any kind of trades, which is totally doable now. That was one mod that we had, was the was like an economy where you could put kind of quick shops, but they were just like chests. They weren't like vendors. And there's all kinds of like cute little, like, I guess that was like an armorer. What is happening there? That is weird. Like this one is my favorite. It's kind of like the curio shop, and there's some lore going on here with like the different sort of curios put on display. I don't think, yeah, there's nothing in the chests, but I think this was supposed to be like a medical tent, like potions or something. Or no, this was supposed to be an apothecary. I can't tell you. I don't know. Guys, this was so long ago. It was so long ago. We have the trading post, definitely some of the stuff going on the server. And if you've played on the server, you know these kinds of things happen, where I had like agreements with, I can't remember what kingdom that was supposed to be, but I had some like agreements with some neighboring kingdoms that, you know, we would share supplies and like help each other on projects. And I think this was supposed to be like a neutral zone that we could meet and set up like supply routes and stuff. So that was a really fun kind of like lore heavy structure. Another little open air market. This one's not as fleshed out as the marketplace is, and it sort of continues over here. So I think the idea, I think there's 4 gates in and out of the city, and the idea was that you would kind of come in here after a long day of adventuring and be able to kind of just stop here and like quickly sell some of your loot. To that effect, there is the home for sale. To give some like context, the idea I think was sort of to do Skyrim sort of aesthetic of right within the front gate, you have the home that the player can buy and they can live in, and they've got all the essentials in here, some good storage, a nice double bed, and, you know, some crafting space, some smelting space, a little sink, and the idea was definitely that that was supposed to be sort of a home base. The whole idea of the Almaden continent was that you know, you were supposed to, it was supposed to be a place of adventure and, you know, and magic, and you would come here and you would settle in the city, and then you would go out on adventures onto the continent. And I know for a fact I created like a haunted forest and some ruins and all that stuff. We'll get to that down the road, but today we're just going to focus on the city. And, you know, all throughout now, we've just got some kind of miscellaneous structures. We've got some, you know, like some just residential, some more shops, like more official shops. There was the bunkhouse. You'll see them all over the place. The villager population in this city is absurd. It is almost offensive. It is ridiculous. For some reason, they've all kind of congregated in some odd spots. Like, they're all kind of stuck up there. where like one of my initial farms are. But definitely, I think when this city started going up, the villagers were sort of new to Minecraft, so it was very novel to be able to have essentially NPCs kind of roaming around like a big build of yours. We've got the nature reserve, which once the infrastructure and sort of all the stuff around the city started getting kind of heavy, I definitely wanted to set aside like some spots where, you know, it's still just trees and grass and we'd have some mobs hanging out, and it's really cool. It's kind of terraced. Whoa. It's kind of terraced with like different levels and like kind of like a little stream running through it and everything. And then it connects to what I think was eventually supposed to be like a third open air market, but it we just never got there. Now this side was the original sort of villager area. I think it's not that structure. It's this structure. This structure was like my OG villager breeder structure, and it makes like absolutely no sense like looking at it. I remember the original sort of draft of it. There was all these kind of chaotic staircases everywhere, like leading up to these different doors, and it was back when villager breeding mechanics required that like they had an enclosed space that was like more than 3 blocks wide, and it had like, and it couldn't have anything over the doors. I remember like putting these sort of awnings in and then realizing that that was messing with the breeding. So you'll see a lot of structures with those sort of knocked out because they were messing like right over there, like because they were messing with the breeding, so it wasn't working right. But yeah, this is kind of the OG villager side, and it's gotten way more dressed up than it originally was. It looks like I was doing another kind of market. This almost looks like this would have been made for a better kind of like livestock market or something. You know, you could have like some horses and some pigs and stuff sort of tied up in there. Tell me a build is my build without telling me it's my build. Like it's there's nothing. A lot of these structures are just completely empty. A lot of these structures, like, there's just nothing. There's not even any torches in here. Like, that's not good. Like, we're gonna get some hostile mobs. But yeah, no, there's a lot of just empty structures. Just nothing in them. And, you know, aesthetically from the outside, the city looks very full and it looks very fleshed out, but there's just very little in it to actually, like, tell much of a story, and especially this side, because I think originally, if these structures even existed when we were doing the villager breeding, they probably just had beds, like as many beds as I could fit in them. We've got the Hall of Spirits, which is our kind of secular religious spiritual building. It is very coded towards one religion, which we're probably gonna have to redo because I'm not keen on having that as a identifying factor in my build. We've got, this is a blacksmith, you know, again. Let's just, ooh, look at those interior decorations. I mean, there's tons of potential. It could be turned into anything we want, but it's not. There's just nothing going on inside these. So yeah, there's a lot to do in that respect. I don't even know how to get up to this. Oh, I guess I need to go up onto the wall. But I built this, like, I don't even know what this was supposed to be. There was like a lot of lore on this server about kind of like alternate worlds and alternate timelines, and a lot of us gathering from like different servers and different worlds and timelines. And I think in my head, it's kind of coming back to me. This was supposed to be some kind of like hub that like drew other players to our world. It was some kind of like energetic, like, beam of light. So yeah, but you know, a lot of like some of that stuff is just kind of aesthetic, and I actually love the way that looks. I kind of recall this like hill being here, and there's one of the gates is accessible through this hill. This is the stone gate, so like obviously it's like stone underground, whatever. And then I remember that hill being bare on the top and having no idea what to put up there, and so I just kind of threw something up there and then like the lore came afterwards. I mean, you gotta love the classic Minecraft fountain. I mean, honestly, low-key, it's kind of a vibe. Like, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It is cute. It does something. And one of the things I love about this city too is that there's kind of like a lot of like tucked away spots that you can like get to by like going over a little bridge or going through like a little passageway, you know, like especially on the other side, there's like a lot of kind of cramped little alleyways. And, you know, even though it's Minecraft, so it's all kind of geometric and it's all like based off of squares and everything, I was not and still am not able to do any kind of diagonal building. It 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 feels a little chaotic because things don't like line up. There's not like regular grids. It's all kind of just like, yeah, this is where that led to, and this is where that led to. And a lot of that was from sort of just like the organic growth of the city just kind of slowly being added to and built on until it reached this point. And I do kind of remember reaching a point too where I knew there wasn't much more actual building I could do. The city was full. I mean, it is full. Like if you look at it, it doesn't, there's not, how, why, what are you doing up there? How did you get there? This is what I'm talking about with the villagers in this city. I can't deal with them. And it got ridiculous. Like the volume of villagers just got out of hand. Ooh, we're getting some good light here. Here, wait. All right, so this is the Almaden Palace. This was quite obviously my home. There was a lot of, again, like building on and building on and building on. If my memory is correct, this kind of front structure here was the original home, and then it slowly started kind of stretching out backwards. I built these, you know, long halls, and I enclosed like a sort of atrium space, and the tower and the sort of what became sort of my quarters all came like secondary. And honestly, looking at it, I know it's, you know, kind of, I hate saying the word like low quality building because it's not. It's actually pretty advanced for what I was doing. But there are good bones here. There are good bones. There's a lot that like as initial structures can be expanded upon and, you know, more fleshed out. So I'm super excited about that. We will get to the palace in just a second. More just classic, beautiful classic Minecraft fountains. I mean, this one's actually pretty well done up. I mean, we've got glowstone, we've got the minerals, you know, like this feels good. I like this one. And it's well scaled for this like little courtyard. We have our sort of livestock area, which I'll be honest, I don't think I was like super keen on using. This is like back in the day. I think if you've watched my videos, you've probably heard me talk about how there was like a very long period of time in my Minecraft career where I never ate like steak. I never really enchanted like tools and weapons. I pretty much would just use like stone tools for everything and just make like dozens and dozens of them. Like if I had to like dig out a big hole, I would just make like 50 stone pickaxes and just use those. Now we've obviously got our jobs and to-do board, which you know, you can see it's kind of empty. And I can't remember if that's because we knew the server was winding down and maybe I just sort of cleared it off so it was like a blank slate if we ever did use the map again. But I mean, I can remember times where this thing was just filled up with like requests from players and like projects I wanted to do and all this stuff. It was a lot of fun. This kind of aesthetic in builds too, these like public job boards, especially kind of before it was more understood to do like Discord channels and everything. This is such a vibe, and honestly, I still see players doing this in worlds where maybe like there is a Discord server, but it's more to just kind of communicate about like schedules and playtime. And then in the world, for players to kind of communicate about what they're doing, they create like a board like this, and then they can like leave each other messages. So I love this. This is a vibe, and I absolutely love this. So we've got the survival shop, which again kind of lends itself towards what I was going for with the sort of Almaden continent, which is that, you know, you would base up in the city. This is probably what your first stop would be. You'd be getting off the boat, and you knew you were here to like conquer a dungeon or explore a haunted area or something. And so you would stop in the survival shop and you would like pick up some essentials. And, you know, we've got like fishing rods and empty maps and slime balls. And I don't even know why that's a survival thing. But yeah, I don't know what happened. At some point, part of it must have burned down because there's no roof here, and I definitely didn't do that. So yeah, this is seen better days. Again, there's so much potential. Like, I was already kind of adding these like exterior details of like, oh, I want there to be something kind of to like fill out the side. Otherwise, this just would have been like a blank, empty patch of grass. And so like a little blacksmith area is like really aesthetically pleasing. So we have the boat here, which, you know, I do remember at one point, one of the mods we had was warp, and if you wanted to warp here, I'm pretty sure where you would plop in is like right here, like right in front of this sign. And it would be basically you just got off the boat and you're in Almaden now. I love this boat, the Rian. It's is it not like low key what the Minecraft shipwrecks actually look like? Like, it's not the exact footprint, but it's pretty darn close. I do remember this was not like freehand. I'm pretty sure I looked up a tutorial to do this, or I don't even know if I looked up a tutorial. I think I may have just looked at a picture and kind of like deduced what to do from it. But it's a cute little guy, you know. I mean, you've got a little cabin here, and then everything else is sort of open air, and I think the sail actually looks pretty good. And we've got like the steering wheel, which is just a dark oak log. So good. I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of like low-key lore and things that kind of lend themselves to the fact that this was supposed to be like the RPG adventure area, and that is just, I absolutely love it. So one last item to note before we get into the palace, and I'm not trying to like oversell the palace. I mean, it's actually quite basic in there, although there is some interior decorations. But the city has this rooftop terrace system, which is all connected with like bridges and these big green spaces. Like almost every house has like a tree on top of it, which I think is so cool. I can't even recall. Oh my god, that's where they all are. How did they all get in there? Okay, we're not addressing it. But I can't even remember what inspired me to do this aesthetic, but I love the fact that this exists in this city. It's really fun, and in certain places it can kind of connect you. Like if you're coming out of like the side of the palace and you like jump onto these, there's like some areas where you can like drop back down and like get like it's just like an alternative way to get where you need to go in the city. And unfortunately, I was never really able to connect the back half of the city to the front half of the city with that system. But it doesn't have to go everywhere, you know. It's not all one thing. If anything, it's actually kind of cool that there are like districts that are all connected, and then in order to get to the other district, you do have to get back on the ground layer and like go over a bridge and down a path. I love that. All right, so this is the palace. You know, there I am, my wonderful, you know, mug. You know, there was also a mail system that we would leave mail for each other that no longer works, just an empty chest. I had to put iron doors here because of the villager problem, and it did nothing, as you can see, because they somehow found their way in anyways. But yeah, again, this is the beginning structure. I remember filling it up with stuff, and oh my god. Have I been doing that this entire time? Wait, where else is that? plant stuff, wood stuff. Oh my god, wait. Animal stuff. Oh my god, I've been doing this stuff thing for a long time. Holy moly, I don't even mean to do that now. Oh my god. It's good to know. It's good to know. Some things are just consistent, you know. You start doing something and then for some reason it speaks to you and you just keep doing it. But yeah, like this is one of the initial structures, and then I know I added this floor, and this was kind of like a smelting crafting station. And then we got up here when storage started getting a little tight down there, and we started filling chests up here. And I don't think I really got to labeling much, but there's definitely a lot going on. These gold and iron blocks kind of scattered throughout. There was something to that. There was a mod. I can't quite remember what it was. I think they kind of acted as like anvils or some kind of upgrades like station. And I recall using it. I used it enough that it made sense to have some sort of scattered throughout the house. But yeah, there's definitely some of those around. So some reminiscence of the old mods. I'll be honest, I think there's definitely some stuff amongst my storage that's not legit. Like, I think I opened a chest quickly when I first booted up the world, and I was like, nope, there's absolutely no way I have that much of that resource, but I can't remember where it was. It might be up in the actual, like palace room. I mean, I feel like it's unlikely that I had 10 blocks of diamonds. I don't know. Again, I wasn't really using diamonds, so... And you can see, like, look, this is some excellent interior design for me, especially at the time. You know, we've got chairs with arms. We've got, like, sort of scattered crafting and smelting, and it feels very formal. It feels very like, oh, yes, welcome to the palace. Yes, the Lord will be with you soon. You know, so I love that aesthetic. And I also went through this sort of atrium period, which maybe I need to get back into because this is so cool, where a lot of my builds had atriums. I also, to kind of as an addition to this video, I also found an old, like one of my OG worlds, maybe my second or third Minecraft world. And my house doesn't really look like this, but it's got this aesthetic of an atrium in the middle. And oh man, the feels when I booted up that world. We'll get to that one too, but I thought Al Madden was a good sort of starting place. Looks like that's a connection to mines. And then this is one of my favorite parts of this build. Oh god, it's awesome. It's a panic room. I think this actually worked too. I'm pretty sure I had like a lock system that I could lock that door with. And then, oh yeah, and I could close that back up so nobody knew where I went. And down here, there was an escape tunnel that led out of the city. I'm not quite sure where that goes. And then there's a safe house a little further down, which is honestly awesome. It's got, you know, some crops. It's just wheat and, you know, some livestock. And there's an arbor in there, like a tree farm for, you know, just like normal supplies. And then, yeah, it looks like I had about 4 rooms. So that's it. That's all I got for a safe house, you know. There was way more people on the server than 4, but I could only house another 3. So, and, you know, obviously you can lock yourself in and you're sealed in. But I remember doing this. I don't remember why, but I remember doing it and feeling very safe about it and being quite pleased with it. And it also felt like a redstone like mastery moment when I did, you know, the piston doors and I did the redstone, this locking mechanism. I mean, can I see? Yeah, there's like something going on here. I can't remember why it doesn't work. I think I broke it at some point somehow. But it did. I remember it working for a little bit and being like quite pleased with that redstone creation. So open that back up, seal that back up so nobody knows, because I'm not posting a video on the internet about it. Oh god. And oh right, this room. Can you tell that mob heads were a thing? I can't remember if we had a mod that made mob head drops more common, or if this was just kind of the frequency of them when they first became a thing. But I had a lot of mob heads. I'm actually surprised I was like this combat savvy. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. I'm pretty sure this world was on hard too. So we've got our war room, which is you know, I don't even know. I guess it was just supposed to be like a strategy space. There was never any kind of like ill will amongst us as players, you know. Although this guy, God, why can't I remember people's guys? It was so long ago. We fought a lot, like just PvP, just joking around, and I got a bunch of his heads. If I can find his house, he also has a bunch of my heads. So we've got like the barracks, which I believe the logic was that these were just kind of like basic bare bones like living quarters, mostly for the guards, like the sort of unofficial or like not unofficial theoretical hypothetical guards that would live in the palace with me. And then over here, this arm is the suites, which are much more kind of upgraded living spaces with like a little more storage and like a little more crafting and just like a little bit more space. And if I can recall, the logic was that like friends and stuff that came to Amadden could stay in these, and then those were like purely utilitarian. They just kind of got the job done. I think I have to go over here to get like all the way up, because the layout of this structure is so strange. And again, it is because it just kind of got built up upon and built up upon. Like, I know for a fact that my OG bedroom, yeah, this was my OG bedroom. And oh yeah, so that's not legit. A lot of music discs in there. Ooh, oh, interesting. Oh, okay, that's gonna be fun to go through. But yeah, this was just like a really basic first bedroom in this structure before it kind of got stretched out and expanded upon. So we have our like walkway across, and I don't even know that there's access. Oh, there is. Yeah, and like there's still blank spaces, you know, which is awesome. Like, I don't know what this was supposed to be. I would hazard a guess I had no plan for what this space was supposed to be, and that's why it's still empty, because I kind of just, you know, shot from the hip in terms of building back then. I wasn't quite, you know, like, oh, I gotta know exactly where everything's gonna go and everything has to have a purpose. It was sort of like building for the sake of building, and that's pretty awesome. I'm really happy that I used to do that, and I need to get back into it. So yeah, here is our like palace room official. Again, there was like a warp system. I'm not quite sure why this sign is here. I don't think it actually warped to this spot. Again, these like iron blocks that had some utility, but I can't remember what it was. And then this started becoming kind of the official storage area, especially for the quick to access supplies. And then like, yeah, like there was just a lot of room up here, a lot of storage. I do recall at one point, me and my buddy, who ended up becoming like the only two people who, oh, whoa, wait. I'm gonna read that later. But me and my buddy, who became kind of the like only two people who started playing for a long time before the server shut down, we went out and about to everyone's bases and started like gathering pieces of lore. Like, I think there's the heads. Oh yeah, no, this is the chest I remember opening and being like, nope, that's not legit. And then I think this one's just, yeah, this one's just as bad. But yeah, yeah, like 64 nether stars. No, thank you. That's getting thrown in the trash. But yeah, like I remember going around and kind of collecting a lot of like little bits and bobs, you know, like pieces of lore that we could find. I think I want to say we built some kind of museum structure where we started displaying things, but I can't quite remember how all that shook out. Yeah, and there's more storage up top. I don't think I ever filled those. I think I was just prepping in the events that we had stayed, yeah, playing. But yeah, there's a lot of storage. Again, this was before I kind of had it in my head that like centralized storage was a good idea to make building easier and everything. Storage was just all over this thing. Like storage was everywhere. If I needed like cobblestone and I didn't have any up here, I had to go all the way back down to like the initial structure and like get it going over there. Can I still sleep? Get out. Okay, I just want to get it to stop raining. And then, oh, this is one of my favorite parts about this structure is obviously I was too lazy to walk down those stairs every time, so I had this nice little drop off that went right into the pool, and then you were able to just really quickly exit the structure and get back to whatever you were doing. This again was before I started obsessively carrying beds all over the place, and in a server that doesn't have single player sleep, which I don't think this server did, it was mostly useless to do that anyways, because there was no way to like get it to like roll over to night without everyone sleeping. But yeah, I mean, just a quick, like, you know, 10,000 foot view overview of Al Madden. Oh, does this one have, oh, this one might not have a mechanism. Some of these gates are supposed to be powered by a daylight sensor, so that'll probably open up in just a second. Yeah, because I wanted the aesthetic that like the city kind of seals up at night, because the obviously, you know, Minecraft, like the mobs come out at night. I know that is the sun gate. No, that's not the sun gate. I can't remember what gate that is, but this is the Lord's gate over here, the one by the messenger board, and that one is always open. That one was kind of like the fail safe, like you got stuck outside the city, you had to like get back in a panic, so you would go over there. But all the other gates are daylight powered, so they would open and close at night, open in the morning. And there's just, guys, there's so much to explore here. I mean, and so, okay, so what I'm going to propose here, and I would love for some engagement on this video, so please comment and like and, you know, subscribe, because I'm guessing you probably aren't subscribed, and I would really appreciate that. But seriously, any engagement, but the engagement I'm looking for on this video is, what if we did a series of revamping this city, of kind of redoing it in my aesthetic? And I want to try to not like completely tear it down, you know, like I want a lot of these structures to stay reminiscent, or, you know, have the same kind of bones. But obviously, you know, if you've watched my channel, you know, at least exterior decorating wise, I've come a long way from like a mostly cobble wall with like 2 pieces of oak and a window. That is, I have graduated from that level, and I would love to kind of step it up and make Al Madden look, you know, on par with builds that I do now. You know, there are parts that I'm like totally into, like the aesthetic for the wall. Like that's a vibe, right? Like we like that. Obviously it could use some like texturing and a little more like depth and variation. Like those can be stairs and stuff like that. But there are definitely things like this. This is literally all oak wood. Like we can step this up. In fact, I like, in terms of areas that I might like completely tear down, this is probably one of them, just because like a little livestock pen area can have a lot more of like a cute and cozy sort of vibe to it. So I love that. But then there's areas like the market district that like I like no notes, right? Like this is perfect. I always was the most proud of this area. I always thought this area was awesome. And there's definitely ways to improve it. I mean, we can texture the dirt. We can kind of change out some torches for lanterns. We could maybe find a way to kind of like lock some villagers nearby each stall, so that way there actually is some trading capabilities. But, you know, there's a lot of areas too, though, where it's like, okay, I've got a structure built so I can just kind of expand on that. And this is a buddy of mine was playing, and he wanted to be close to me. Yeah, that that will not be staying. Sorry, man, but that will not be staying. But there's a lot of areas like, and there's way more in the continent too. This is also the world where I started finding my love of like pathfinding or wayfinding and pathing and stuff like that. You know, like I had so much fun building road systems all over the island that connected to different things. Like there's a sort of train station stop that goes all the way back to spawn. There's some other builds around. I kind of capitalized this entire continent. There's not a lot of builds from other people on this continent. There's some stuff going on over here, but I actually didn't really consider this. Oh, wait. Yes, that's awesome. I actually didn't really consider that like part of Al Madden. I sort of drew the line like right here. Like that's even actually like the spawn point of Al Madden, you could say. But like, yeah, everything from this area over is Al Madden, basically, like this whole continent. And you can see, I mean, there's not a ton, but there's like some structures around here. There's something going on there. I remember I built that. This was gonna be like a whole sister city that you know, I obviously you can tell I didn't get terribly far with it, but that's super fun. I mean, that's another project. I remember this was gonna be like a fort. This was the haunted forest, which, if memory serves, there are some kind of scattered structures throughout there, and I think the like beginnings of like a dungeon-esque area. But yeah, there is so much that can be done. It's actually like, you know, when I say continent, it's actually sort of just like a big island, but still, there's a lot that can be done, and I certainly don't feel like locked in. And then there's spawn over here, which again can be like a whole nother video of at least touring it. This actually is pretty well developed and well built area. There's a lot in here that me and a lot of other buddies built together, and this was when we were like really coming into our own as builders, especially my my good friend Ed the Minecrafter. His aesthetic was always constantly pushing me to do better, and so, you know, we weren't on the same level then. I wouldn't even say we're on the same level now, but he's just one of those people who you'd build with, and you'd go, okay, I have to get better. Like, I have to push myself more because this guy is doing stuff that I've never seen before. But yeah, so this is the Al Madden continent, and there's a lot to explore and a lot to see. But if we do this project, and please comment and say you do want to see it, you don't want to see it, you think my voice is annoying and you hate watching my videos, you love my voice, anything, just do something on the video. I beg of you. I beg, I really do. If you want to see this become a project that we do as a video series, and it's all going to be vanilla, it's all going to be survival. I don't know what the game mode that we're set to on this is. Let me check. Easy, which is my vibe, so we're good to go. But yeah, so it'll all be vanilla, it'll all be survival. We'll have to do some serious questing for things like bamboo and stuff, because this was well before that time. And like in the nether, you know, like I don't even know where we'll find like a soul sand valley or anything. But there's a lot that can be done, and I'm really, really curious because I think it would be a fun project. And to be honest, I may just do it. But I want to hear from you guys, and I want you to tell me if you want to see that and if that's something that you would watch, you know. So yeah, that's the idea, that's the project. This is my kind of pride and joy in terms of getting good at Minecraft and falling in love with this game. And I would love to integrate it into my channel because it is such an integral part of my love for this game. So please comment, tell me what you think, like the video, absolutely consider subscribing, you know, especially if you want to see this series sort of build up. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one.